Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Welcome back.
She's giggling.
He has the cutest beard, and I just realized he has a rubber band in it, and I think he's asking me to like do something with his beard or something.
Well, it's just like when you have it so that it touches your chest,
Yeah.
it's like sometimes it gets a little irritating.
Yeah.
So, talk about irritating. How about the 2020 hurricane season?
That was really very bothersome for many, many people.
It was 30 named storms, most ever in history. 5 landfalls in Louisiana. First state ever to have 5 in 1 year.
And that's really incredible. And I remember doing show after show after show and just sending so much energy to these beloved people because this is life changing, devastating what's happened.
Yes, the strongest was Laura, did 10 million about in 10 million, 10 billion, sorry, with a B in damage. And I do have a cousin that lives in New Orleans. He's been there for many years, 30 years now, I think. And he's a musician and he loves it. And they lost their house, him, his wife, and their kids. They lost their house in Katrina. And they did end up living in a FEMA provided shelter for a year, a little bit over a year. Wasn't so pleasant, but
I bet
they
not.
they were grateful for at least having a roof over their head, though. When you look at like the late season storms too, they tended to go on that same sort of trajectory as we see.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, is that a coincidence?
Yeah, China comes right out and says that they can manipulate the weather. And Russia's made statements to that too. The US has declassified documents showing that, yeah, weather manipulation is real. For absolutely, it's a fact. And was it bad luck? Why Louisiana got hit, and as we see, these storms can then flow up into Arkansas as well, and also Mississippi and Texas have been hit with a lot of natural disasters. We've done some videos on that. Texas is number one as far as total natural disasters. Louisiana number two. And, Texas, there's a lot of things about Texas a lot of people are liking nowadays. For one, perceived freedoms, as well as, yeah, it's got its own solid identity and it's the economic powerhouse. And it's growing very, very fast. We see Louisiana hurricanes Laura, Delta, and Zeta atop record-breaking billion-dollar natural disasters. Louisiana just got hammered 7.7 billion in just Louisiana in damage from 2020 hurricanes. So my question for you is, if you were an investor, right, and you just saw this, and would you think, oh well, this is a good buying opportunity? I think that would be a risky investment, especially if you believe in the whole global warming scenario, and that these storms are only going to get to be more numerous. Maybe in 10 years we'll see 45 instead of 30. Maybe it'll increase 50%. Maybe the damages will be, 2, 3 times that. So, as an investor, would you invest in Louisiana? As far as what we just saw this year? And in fact, we've looked at properties down that way, and there's a lot of them that come up saying, oh, minimal hurricane damage. This isn't so bad. There are people that are looking to get away from the coasts because of, suffering just repeated blows like this. And, in Louisiana especially. So, would it be a wise move? Well, we talked about Bill Gates buying up farmland across America. Here is the 4th richest person in the world, top financier of the WHO, and silently has become the biggest farmland owner in the U.S. Well, when you look at it, he's bought up land in a lot of places, but the one place he's bought the most land is Louisiana. 69,071 acres. Fire sale? Just can't resist?
I know. I mean, logically speaking, why would somebody do that? You just got to ask yourself. But if you're somebody that's in the know and that understands the underlying energies and how things really operate around here, then it makes sense.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So yeah, Louisiana, 69,071 acres of farmland, right? By the way, climate is really good down there as far as growing. It's mostly zone 9, down at the very tip down there past New Orleans. There's a little bit that's zone 10. So, you could grow a lot year round. You can get certain crops of citrus and avocados and things like that to grow there. And if it's going to truly get colder instead of warmer, that would be a good place to hold some farmland for the future if we are heading into a deeper grand solar minimum. So let's look, where else did he buy acreage? Well, second on the list there is Arkansas, right above Louisiana. And again, that is, a lot of Arkansas is thought to be a good spot for getting through these times, particularly towards the north and towards the west. But along the east is really rich farmland as well, good for now. And again, it depends on when these earth changes happen, like we talked about Casey's prediction of the Mississippi Sea. Well, he was thinking it was going to be 40, 50 years ago. Of course, it could be difficult to peg times.
Oh my gosh, time is nearly impossible because you see things come in and out of focus. But, I mean, this is just really insane what I'm looking at here. But if you could control certain things, then, you would know where to buy land, I suppose.
Yeah, and then if you have to look at what's next, well, Arizona. Okay, so Arizona's been under horrible drought, and again, weather can be influenced, without a doubt. They didn't get the monsoon rains they need to get. And weather patterns can change, and they can be nudged, absolutely. But again, if we are heading into a grand solar minimum, then Arizona is going to look better and better as the times get colder and colder in so many different places. So that's the next place that he bought up a big chunk of. And then after that, we do have Nebraska, 20,000 acres. There was severe floods there 2 years ago that were brutal. We have Illinois, 17,940 acres. Florida, 14,800 acres. And of course, that would also be another hurricane-prone place, but also that would be somewhere that would be, one of the best places to be in a grand solar minimum. And if we do head into an ice age, like back when the ice age was in full effect, Florida was 3 times the size it is now. There's that much more land that gets exposed as the water gets locked up in the caps. So, that would not be a good investment if we were truly going into, the global warming, runaway global warming, where all of a sudden, according to Al Gore, we'd all be underwater by now, actually.
And you would think that he would be someone in the know. So I don't know. It's just really kind of confusing, but it makes sense.
So he's got 16,000 acres up in Washington, and Washington, great growing area as well. Idaho, known for the potatoes, 9,000 acres there. 4,500 over in California. Of course, California's had the wildfires. There's been a lot of people wondering what's really going on with all the wildfires out there as well. And of course, there's people laughing it off, and I hear it more all the time, where people are directly talking about it in a laughing way, like, you got to be crazy, and talking about shape-shifting reptilians and talking about beams from the sky. Mm-hmm. But they're laughing it off because it's penetrating into more and more people's minds.
It is, and that's a good thing. We do need to wake more people up.
So, and then Ohio, he's got 8,900 acres and 1,100 acres in Wisconsin, 2,100 in Michigan, 552 in Iowa, 975 in Wyoming, and 874 over in North Carolina. So very curious, very, very curious. I found that fascinating. Maybe he just said, hey, or maybe he didn't buy it all right now either. Maybe he bought, and is he regretting his purchase of all those Louisiana farmland acres? Or does he have some insider knowledge?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just something that's worthy to take a look.
I just thought this was really curious, and thank you, Aaron. We love you. Thanks for bringing this up. This is very, very curious and interesting to see your guys' feedback on this. Connect the dots, guys.
Yep, do please, and let us know what you think.
Yes, most definitely. As always, guys, thanks for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. Stay prepared. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.